Welcome back to ILG LCL2 Pro League. This is the finals, and if you're just tuning in, this is Game 2 between LowEloHangout and Ruthless Gaming. Ruthless Gaming to Game 1, and we're going into Game 2. I'm joined with my co-caster Sadias today. Hey, what's up, Sadias?
Hey, I got to be here. Didn't cast for a long while and just came back in time for the finals.
Alright, yeah, I'm so psyched. I'm so excited for this finals. And going into Game 2, we're going to the pick and ban phase. So we have Panda and Pocket on Lee Sin. Lee Sin's locked in. What do you think about his Lee Sin?
Well, I mean, he has. I haven't particularly been following his particular jungling throughout this time in the tournament. I mean, because I've seen him on Sejuani and I saw him last game on that Rek'Sai. And he did well to create those few bit of early pressures. Granted, yes, Ruthless definitely had the better advantage set up for them. In the form of Zabardast getting that bot lane and transitioning mid lane and transitioning into that bot lane to set it up. But Panda and Pocket was equally good to reciprocate in that particular point of time, reciprocate the same amount of pressure onto Ruthless himself. So I believe Lee Sin will work better than the Rek'Sai did in terms of damage dealing and getting ahead goes.
Definitely, and I've noticed about Panda and Pocket's jungle style is his gameplay. He mainly picks like junglers with like early game presence, so he can make like some effectiveness in the top and mid lane. He always gets sidestone on most of his jungles, and as you can see, Lee Sin, I mean, it complements the champion complements the sidestone very well. So I think that's going to be a good pick for him. But going into the other picks, we see Zabardast on Zac. And he's been playing a lot of Zac. He's played a lot of it in Season 4 as well. And now we see him playing Zac here in this final, in the ILG LCL2 finals.
Yeah, so I mean, Vice, Sejuani and Jarvan have been banned. So, I mean, it's pretty much natural that he would go for Zac. I mean, I pretty much knew at the back of my mind that he would probably go Zac. If not, I'm really not sure what other pick he'd even go for, if not for the Zac. But anyway, looking at Ruthless in general, they are looking to pull off the Juggernaut, which is the hot favorite of a comp that we see in this current patch, on the last few patches actually. Not only seen in pro play, but a very big favorite in team ranked as well. As you see the Janna for Kranko and the Lulu coming in for Fufucutie. I'm actually surprised Fufucutie even signed up for this Lulu. I was about to make a point earlier that Fufucutie is pretty much used to playing a lot of tanks in the top lane, and I pretty much don't really see him playing on Lulu, but here he is playing the Lulu, so
this is
here we go. And an Orianna. Wow.
So they have Zac for the front line, and basically it's just Orianna, Kranko that's on Janna. It's just going to support that comp, support the hyper carry comp. It's a very late game comp with good engaged and disengaged. Like the Zac and the Orianna, they complement each other really well, causing for some very synchronized team AoE team fights. And we have the Lulu to protect the Zac and the Kog'Maw, depending on the Irelia engage. And for the blue team, we have very strong solo picks coming in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we have Irelia, who's really strong, and once she reaches like level 4 past, and if she gets to level 9 freely without the Lulu harassing her too much, she's gonna really start hurting that Lulu in top, and she's gonna outplay it easily.
Yeah, I personally say that LowEloHangout did well to pick champs in response to something like the Juggernaut pick, because the Juggernaut pick, all the other lanes besides your Kog'Maw lane are pretty much you're pretty much only getting them to play safe until they scale up to that mid game, mid to late game, where your Kog'Maw is actually really strong and pretty much clearing up fights for you. So when you have that kind of a thing going on, early game, you're not really expecting much from Ruthless in terms of laning. You're not going to see like heavy action, you're not going to see like heavy 1v1s or anything of that sort. So LowEloHangout's composition with the TF at mid, with the Irelia on the top, and with the Lee Sin in general, they are looking to pressure them so hard early and put them so far behind early on that it's pretty much it's scary even, the amount of pressure that you can happen, because look at the top lane. You have an Aurelia that can pretty much stun the Lulu straight up, and TF can pretty much teleport up top, stun, again go for another stun on the Lulu, and the Lee Sin can pretty much just be around and following up on the gank and pretty much securing a tower straight from there on. Like if say TF goes the Lich Bane build, right, they'll have enough sieging power for a very early to mid game phase. And if Ruthless pretty much burn out, if Ruthless suddenly find themselves with their backs to the wall in mid game when the Kog'Maw has to pick up, they'll be in a lot of trouble, because their whole comp is pretty much built around protecting that Void monster. So LowEloHangout are pretty much picking a team comp that is built to put their backs against the wall, to put Ruthless Gaming's backs against the wall, and completely putting them on the back foot right from the early game, right from the early to mid game when TF hits 6. Supposedly.
Definitely. And the bot lane from LowEloHangout, I mean, it's such a strong bot lane, the Morgana Jinx. Like, it's snare after snare with the Chompers and her bind. And there's so much pressure coming out. And, like, Ruthless Gaming's bot lane, they can't even push out and, pressurize the Morgana into, like, shoving their lane, because they have to fear the TF's global ultimate. And that's like really scary. And like
that Lee Sin, played by Panda and Pocket, did manage to secure that first blood and managed to escape as well at a slither of HP, and so did Garbage. So that was actually almost a double kill coming for FufuQT in that top lane. They both managed to escape at very low HP, but nonetheless it was a fight well won by Team LowEloHangout, and this is exactly the mindset they require going into this game 2, as they did lose out in game 1, and they have to win both these upcoming this game and the next game, if at all Team LowEloHangout have to win this tournament. So yeah, Zedius, tell me about these matchups which we haven't talked about in Champion Select.
Yeah, well, there's not too much to say, because on the side of Ruthless Gaming, across the board, both in the top, mid, and pretty much in the bot side, in the early game, there really isn't much to say, because you just want to play safe, right? Because your mid game, your true self shines out in the mid and late game, and you're playing the Juggernaut composition on the side of Ruthless, so they'll pretty much be looking to play safe throughout. But on the side of LowEloHangout, we see in the TF mid and the Irelia top and the Lee Sin jungle, we see all these aggressive early game picks, right? Certain picks that TF in the mid lane, like you probably know best since you were playing. I pretty much remember you to be a very good TF player way back then, even back in season 4, I believe. And so you pretty much know the pressure that a TF can do post level 6 across lanes. So they're looking to start with really small advantages in their side lanes and get them rolling very early, because they scale just as well as the Juggernaut comp does. Sure, yes, definitely the Juggernaut definitely does do better in the late game as a team comp, because it's a Kog'Maw and he's pretty much shredding anything and everything with the whole team protecting him. But don't forget that you do have a Jinx and you do have an Aurelia, and late game TF's damage is pretty much big as well. And these people, and I believe Ruthless Gaming don't really have anything against the TF stun later on, because the Morgana is on their side. It's not, they don't really have the Morgana to pretty much shield from TF stuns as well. So that becomes a slight problem. You'll see Quicksilver Sashes, you'll see Mikaels, you'll see all sorts of general random builds being gone just in fear of that TF stun in that late game. So it'll be interesting.
Indeed. But what do you think about the composition? As in, I do understand that Team Ruthless Gaming is running as you said, the Juggernaut comp that is protect the Kog'Maw comp. But what if Team LowEloHangout does not want to target the Kog'Maw at all, because they themselves have a very excellently scaling Jinx for late game as well? They might as well just target the Lulu or the Orianna, and they don't need to. I mean, they have protection for everybody, but still, I believe that each and every member of Team Ruthless Gaming are comparatively squishy as opposed to team LowEloHangout. They have just one Zac to be the solid front line. He will be a solid front line, but nonetheless, even the top laner is a Lulu, who without that ultimate is going to be fairly squishy.
Yeah, and all of that boils down. Yeah, and all of that, like everything that you're saying, boils down to what the composition fundamentally is, right? Like you have the Giacomo composition, which is just general disengage, which is just multiple amounts of shields onto one Cogmo. So immediately when you pull out this kind of a composition, you're immediately not looking to start a fight yourself. That's the biggest thing. Like they'll let the Cogmo up, they'll let the Cogmo play up to secure whatever objective, and wow, could this be a kill? Almost. Wow. Okay, well, that's a little bit of a scare happening in that bot lane. I don't think they're giving up. They are looking to kill.
It's a huge wave. They got to
Yeah.
risk it to get the farm, or they could possibly.
Wow, Synchro got hit by it. Wow. Well, okay, whatever. So, Listen, will you get it? No, never mind. It was definitely better this guess. So yeah, anyway, a lot of this boils down to what the Giacomo comp fundamentally is, right? Like you're not looking to start the fight yourself. You're just sending your Cogmo up to deal a small bit of damage and then spending the entire duration of the fight disengaging everything from him. Like they have an Irelia, you can pretty much block the Irelia from jumping to Giacomo, from jumping on to Cogmo with the Janna. Then you have like a TF. Okay, fine, your Cogmo is stunned, use the Mikaels on him. So while it isn't so that, you're pretty much banking on a Cogmo to do all the damage, it is also a fact that these people have a good bunch of poke otherwise, and in general even the other picks do a fair bit of damage on their own, so it really doesn't matter who gets jumped on. It's just a team, it's just the kind of comp that they say is that they just keep supporting each other. Like, sure, yes, one person gets jumped, the other person pretty much shields themselves, and the Cogma pretty much ends up killing them. So you shouldn't really look at this kind of composition as frontline and backline, because you don't really have that standard frontline and backline. You have multiple utility picks around the strongest late game hyper carry that the game has to offer on the AD carry role. So that's how you should be looking at this. You can apply the same logic to LowEloHangout and say, yes, Irelia has a strong frontline. Yes, Lee Sin can also pretty much frontline and pretty much set up initiation plays. But so it will be crucial what they do against the Cogmo in particular. Like, yes, the natural tendency in the late game for LowEloHangout will be to just tunnel on Cogmo, use everything on Cogmo, use the TF stun, use the Irelia ultimate, use like the Morgana bind and ultimate and everything to try and kill the Cogmo. But that's what they want. Like, that's what the comp is, right? You protect the Cogmo and pretty much let him do all the work in terms of damage. Because yes, he definitely has the damage to pretty much wipe out everybody in the team in like 3 or 4 shots per person. So that's the philosophy behind the Giacomo composition.
I do understand, but in this, like you said, the Giacomo composition, tunneling in on that Cogma will not yield good results for team LowEloHangout.
Yeah.
As they will have a bunch of shield after shields. The Janna shield, the Orianna shield, the Lulu shield. They have all the shields in the entire game required in this very game. But then, so basically, Forbidden.
Oh, here comes the gank.
As the gank comes in onto Brutality, this could be the second blood for much deserved. Wanted kill on Synchro, because he was struggling to CS against Brutality's Cogma, and Janna just roamed for a gank in the mid lane, completely leaving open for the Brutality to be exposed to all the threats coming even out of a TF gank, allowing another good kill pickup from Synchro. He has fallen behind and farmed horribly. That kill will pretty much get him back in the game. So yeah, as I was saying, Zeddy, it's just the fact that tunneling in or on that Cogma, the Forbidden Requiem on the TF, he should not be looking to make any What's that play called again on TF? You just alt in front of 5 people in zone. Yes, whose move?
Messiah, the Messiah bait.
Yeah, the Messiah basically. So
Yeah.
doing the Messiah would basically be just suicide. So basically, TF just has to try and move along the outskirts of the team fight and looking to just turn up whoever is right in front of you, even if that means standing up the tanky Zac. So
Yeah.
doing that. Do you think that Team LowEloHangout, assuming they are equal in terms of gold with Team Ruthless Gaming, they have the composition to take down Ruthless Gaming's comp?
So yeah, here's the tricky thing, right, about the comp that LowEloHangout are playing out. Like, because they have so much catch potential, because they have so much, they basically have a lot of tools to pick on anybody who's caught alone. Oh my god, this is a good gank. Wow. Brilliantly played by Kaka and Zabardast in that mid lane, timing both their ultimates really quickly and pretty much catching him off guard coming from an unwanted rush there. So yeah, that's that. But here's the thing, right? In the late game, LowEloHangout have the composition necessary to pretty much catch any one person other than Kog'Maw off and pretty much delete them out of any team fighting as the game goes later and later. So they have the tendency to pretty much eliminate one of the particular sources of utility that can be supported onto the Kog'Maw and pretty much leave Kog'Maw and pretty much even isolate Kog'Maw and make sure he's left alone with nobody to protect him. Because they have so many tools, they have so many things to capture single targets and isolated this thing. So Ruthless will have to pretty much have to get their warding on point, and they can. Like, Kranko is pretty much known to have that much amount of vision control, but they need to be able to play safe enough that they don't get caught single-handedly, and this is exactly one of the situations that I'm talking about.
Indeed. So yeah, but nonetheless,
Brilliant.
that's a very good kill picked up
Yeah.
by Forbidden in the top
Good,
lane.
very tenacious from Forbidden Requiem to do that there.
Yeah, I believe they did communicate that Lulu didn't have an ult up at that very instant. And that's
Yep.
exactly
Yep.
why TF did teleport up top. And let's forget about team fighting for a second. We've also spoke about team fighting. But I gotta say that Team LowEloHangout has a better team composition for a 1-3-1 split push with that Irelia, with that TF. Because anybody who's trying to chase both these people, and TF is currently fed as well. He just got a kill up top lane. He's farming sufficiently well against Orianna. He's comparatively behind by around 20 minions, but that kill will pretty much secure that gold deficit. But nonetheless, don't you think with that 1-3-1 split push, Team LowEloHangout could actually out-rotate Team Ruthless Gaming? Because you see that Ruthless Gaming have a better kite comp with all the team in the
Oh
world.
man, these guys are all over the place.
Very well coordinated gang from both teams. Pan and Pocket gets taken down, and that rocket from the Jinx will not take Orianna down, as she was taken down in the 1 bar of HP, but she will manage to survive nonetheless. That was a very good counter gank out of Zabardast.
Oh, is there a smite up? No, there isn't. Brilliantly done from. Oh my god, very well played by Forbidden Requiem to just stick in there and pretty much. Okay, wow. I thought Zabardast had 2 smite charges going into this gank, which I was expecting him to just smite and secure that second kill, but oh well. Doesn't really look like it'll be happening. And wow, Garbage has been continuously focusing all of his 6, and this is going to show Fufucuti with this much of a CS disadvantage and already a death and already down a death shows how much he has been playing tanks over anything else right now in that top lane.
In all fairness, he has been ganked by both Lee Sin and TF, and that's exactly why has that one.
Yep, and here comes another. Wow, triple flash to just go and kill the brutality. So LowEloHangout are pretty much playing their comp to their strengths right now, and it's actually really good. Right from the draft phase, I knew that LowEloHangout had the perfect response into a Juggernaut composition, and they did good. Like as you said, the split push potential of this comp is very much efficient, and picking up a split push comp against this very teamfight oriented comp really goes to show that they'll have two separate like branches over here, and it'll pretty much and progressively it gets harder and harder for Ruthless Gaming to be able to deal with Twisted Fate on one side, Irelia on the other, and a Jinx, a Morgana, and a Lee Sin in the mid lane. So like, who would you send where? Who even goes where? Like, yes, you have Lulu who has significant amount of wave clear, but she needs to be there to help the Kog'Maw. Yes, you can put Kog'Maw with the Janna in the mid lane, but how well will that help? And wow, this will be another... So much action happening within the first almost 14 minutes in this game right now. I think Forbidden Requiem has been ulting every single time it's off cooldown and going up to a lane. Like, he's been selling his effectiveness so well for the team to get his side lanes ahead while he himself gets another ramp. That's pretty much the point of any TF pick, even in solo queue, let alone in this team lag scenario.
Indeed. I've been wondering, didn't he just ult a minute ago and then again boom?
Yeah.
The next minute he just ults somewhere else. He's been ulting both top and bot, and this strategy has actually been working really good for Team LowEloHangout, because what are you going to do with the Juggernaut comp if the Kog'Maw is highly underfed? Now you see that synchro that Jinx is miles ahead of Brutality's Kog'Maw at this stage of the game. He's outfarmed him as well. He was 21 to 46 CS or something. He was like 20 CS or so below Brutality, but now he's outfarmed him, and he's got two kills above the Brutality as well. So basically, what are you going to do with the protect the Kog'Maw comp if the Kog'Maw is not doing any damage and Jinx is doing all the damage? You basically pretty much seal the deal for that strategy is completely thrown out of the window. What are you going to protect? Who are you going to protect? You're going to be protecting the Orianna at this point, because the Orianna is the only fed person on Team Ruthless Gaming at the moment, as she's sitting on 200 and 117 farm at just 1354.
You still can't completely take them out of the picture, because a 2-0 Orianna this early on in the game is definitely capable of having the wave clear enough to stop a siege all by herself single-handedly. And they also have the wombo combo. The Zac Orianna wombo combo is definitely like ridiculously powerful now that recently Zac's E's knockup has been increased to 1 second from 0.5 seconds, and that will pretty much factor in really heavily in team fights that they could pretty much do. So they can have these runaway team fights where they have like exit frags, very much like fighting while backing and just not really trying to go too ham onto the enemy yet, recognizing that there is a slightly underfed Kog'Maw. So it will come down to how they play the objectives and whether they really go for the objectives in their current state in the first place. And I think they should. I mean, the Zac Orianna wombo combo is definitely decisive when the Orianna is ahead and gets her own damage and power spike up well before say the TF and the Jinx do. So it's pretty much become a race to who hits their stride and who hits their power spike, and currently it looks like Orianna is in the lead compared to Jinx. So you can't, I'm expecting Kaka to stall hard enough for Brutality to get and hit his item power spike, which is, I believe, the Triforce and the Blade of the Ruin King. When those two items are completed, that's when he'll start dealing a lot of pain. So yeah, it's if Kaka manages to stall enough and minimize the losses and try to get like an objective or two in the process, maybe even a few towers, anything at all to get that gets a team ahead, that's possible. And well, he'd have done his job, and the Juggernaut comp would have finally taken form. So you can't really count them out yet in this current state.
Obviously, you cannot count anybody in 13 minutes, especially if it's just a 2,000 goal lead, and that 2,000 goal lead is against a team such as Ruthless Gaming. Obviously, they have the mentality and the coordination to get right back in the game.
Yeah.
As Lokesh is pinging me saying, what just happened? Wait, what seems to be the problem? I'm here on stream. It seems to be paused at...
No, I think Keegan is gonna play for Kaka because apparently Kaka had DC, I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah, or something. So, because we're running out of pause time, they are really gonna Keegan's just gonna log into Kaka's account and pretty much be a Diamond 5 mid laner for a while.
Don't you think that hugely impacts them right now? I'm not sure how Keegan plays. I have no idea what his game style is in. How does he actually play?
Keegan's passive. Keegan, I only remember like a few times when he was in OG, when he was mid laning for OG once upon a time, and he pretty much plays passive. He's the kind of guy who, yes, of course, Kaka did peak heal this game as well, but he's the kind of guy to go flash heal over flash ignite for when people would ordinarily go flash and ignite. And he's basically the kind of guy that will show no aggression. It's pretty much perfect in this situation, I believe, Keegan's playstyle. Because Kaka, I've known Kaka to be a big playmaker, and Keegan not so much. He prefers to be farmed up and only make like a play when he knows he's ahead, when he knows he's hit a stride, and when he knows that he'll come out on top in the trade. And he would never really take risks. And so if Keegan does come in, his playstyle is perfect. Like that is him. He's probably exactly what Ruthless would want right now. So while it does seem like an unfortunate turn of events, it might turn out well, really.
Has it been in touch with the game? That's the most important question to ask here, because you have seen, and it's all fine and good.
It's safe to assume it is Orianna after all, and he is known to play a fair bit of Orianna, even back in season 4, I believe, when he was still in OG. Like he was playing a very, very good amount of Orianna, so. He's definitely not playing something new. It's not like he's radically out. So, but it'll probably affect a little bit, but not too much. I'm not expecting it to completely crumble down. All in all, like he is going into a comfortable condition. He's going to comfortable playing conditions. So I'm not expecting much. And this is a huge gank onto Synchro. And we've seen this episode before in the previous game as well. Synchro constantly getting caught out and sometimes dying solo. Once Brutality got ahead, he pretty much started dying solo to Brutality all by himself. So this is a familiar episode we're seeing right now.
Yes, and that was actually the place to be for Zabardast, because he knows that he has to snowball his Kog'Maw and get him at least on par with Hutchins, because the entire comp is based on that Kog'Maw. You better snowball that Kog'Maw, at least keep him somewhat.
Oh man, Panda in pocket. That's a dead monk. Wow. Very, very well played by Zabardast. Patiently waiting, both of them actually. Both Zabardast and Fubukuti were patient enough to wait for the knock-up to hit, wait for everything to land and catch him off guard at the right moment, and do really well with it.
Indeed. And that gives Fubukuti on a Lulu a free red buff as well. That's exactly what shouldn't be given to Fubukuti at the moment, considering that Garbage was winning up that top lane in terms of CS, and had an assist as well. And giving that red buff.
Oh man.
And Brutality caught out yet again.
So Ruthless Gaming is definitely struggling against these TF gangs. They just can't see how to protect their Kog'Maw. They just can't see how to protect themselves from these insane TF gangs that Forbidden Requiem is churning out right now.
That is,
seriously.
I believe that something is completely wrong with the mindset, the manners of Team Ruthless Gaming, because that was a serious overextension from Brutality on that Kog'Maw. He is challenging. He shouldn't be falling to silver level threat coming out of that. He should be aware that is a TF. He has been ganking time and time again whenever he has his ult up. So yet again he doesn't have a tower to fall back to, and the opponent team has a TF. That was a serious bit of overextension, and I don't think that's the right setup, because I'm damn sure if he was in the proper mindset, he wouldn't have been overextending that much, or at least, even if he did, he would have made sure he had some backup to
and this Dragon Dance is what I'm talking about. It'll be interesting to see what Ruthless plans out in here. Yes, it does look like they're engaging in for now, but oh my god, it looks like LowEloHangout are making the first move here. Oh, huge 3-man shockwave coming in from Kaka right there, and he will take a fair bit of damage. Yes, he will live through it all, and this is pretty much pretty much a mock demonstration of how Ruthless Gaming are going to team fight right now. Everybody just revolving around brutality, pretty much letting him poke and deal enough upfront damage and protect him the whole time. So as we see, like if Ruthless Gaming end up taking the first move here, it might bode really badly for them, especially when LowEloHangout have their summoners up with the team comp that they're running. But otherwise, oh my god, Fufucutie, what are you doing? That is heavily out of position, but it does look like they'll get the trade-off. Can they kill Zabardast? It doesn't look like it. He will live through, but oh my god, that is one very low synchro over there, but it doesn't really matter. Panda in pocket. Oh my god, synchro, what are you doing? Will die to Cog was Icathian surprise later on, but Zabardast not really home free, man. That's really not the way you want to be going. But oh wow, well done by Shifu to secure that kill with his Q later on. So big misplays, fair bit of misplays on both sides actually. Synchro with that random zap that he used, which pretty much rooted himself in place and gave Brutality enough time to close in on him with the Icathian surprise. And that isn't that much of a misplay enough. Ruthless Gaming certainly did overextend on their own accord and do pretty much lose their AD carry and jungle in the process, I guess.
And yet another.
Oh wow. Okay, it's not Keegan. Okay. Kaka himself had apparently reconnected for the duration.
Alright.
And there's no off again.
Well, that shockwave actually was excellent. That was the reason they would have lost multiple members if it wasn't for that one big shockwave coming out of Keegan, I believe, at that specific point. And but nonetheless, the original player is back on his account. As we see, though, I've never seen a post time actually run out in a custom game, and this is a very
I know. Usually we'd be like totally strict and say, oh my god, 10 minutes of pause times are up for both teams. You guys have no choice but to resume. But this is the finals, man. You can't really do such things.
It's the pause time is on the admins at this point, so it's not either of teams' fault. So yeah, well, a little bit of connectivity issues.
Unless we all tell them to stop moving.
Players.
Yeah, we should totally just tell everybody to just stop moving if the boss time runs out so that nothing happens.
Indeed. And I gotta tell you, Zeddy, is all this boss time, isn't it throwing the mindset for all these players? And especially, a boss time coming in for somebody who's behind. They are going to be thinking about how they died. That basically would tend to demotivate them, right?
Bam! Game resuming. Oh, what? -1, -2, -3.
I was know like this.
Overtime, boys. Overtime. Oh my god, we're heading into overtime, boys.
Well, whoever knew we had minus 24 seconds on pause time, so.
Well, this is quite something. Well, so anyway, like this is what I meant by things not completely it's not completely over for Ruthless. Don't really count them out because such big shockers like Oriana is definitely a playmaking champ when ahead and when the time comes and she has to land a good ult. So when the teamfight phase does start, yes, the Jagamo composition will shine because of their superior ability to pretty much deal like a huge bunch of AoE damage and have a Kog'Maw at the back to completely, hit their tanks as well as their backline. So yeah, like in that 5v team fight, in that particular situation, if they force the objective, if they force LowEloHangout to be on their toes and to pretty much get them to contest an objective, then Ruthless Gaming win, and that they did that very excellently so far. Like yes, they did lose their beloved Kog'Maw and their Zac in the process, but it didn't really matter. Like at least they stopped Dragon, right? Like that's pretty much a win in anybody's. I mean, they got the Dragon in the end. Sorry, I mean it's not like they stopped Dragon, but they got the Dragon in the end, so it's definitely a win. So they're bouncing back. They're pretty much enduring through the pressure that LowEloHangout have been dealing to them all game.
Indeed.
And so far, even with all those repeated TF ganks, all LowEloHangout have managed so far is one bot lane tower. So they need to make it count something more than that. Like, yes, okay, Panda and Pocket has been counter jungling, taking Zabardast's red buff as well at one point, but they need to make bigger advantage. They need to create something more than what they already have.
That is the first dragon for LowEloHangout. And Zerius, I got to
Right,
point
yeah.
out that this is the first time in this entire tournament that Ruthless Gaming have ever fallen behind in the early game. It's not that much, it's still a bare lead of 1,700 gold, but nonetheless, it's still the only time when Ruthless Gaming have fallen behind in the early game. So, and we've never seen how they play from behind. This will be the first time we'll ever be seeing that, but nonetheless, they have all that team chemistry and all that rotations. All the tools required to come back from the game, a better team fighting comp, a better kite comp, a better healing comp with that, Janna ult. So basically, if they manage to kite around effectively, team Ruthless Gaming will come out in these fights. But then again, like I pointed out in the past, team LowEloHangout has to try and do the 1-3-1 because they have the stronger split pushers. They have the Irelia. Lulu cannot 1v1 the Irelia without a tower. She has to lean back onto the tower, as you can see right now. You can see damage being put back, but that will not be enough to take down an Irelia 1v1. Lulu will not win 1v1 even if she's kills and so on. As you can see, Lulu is actually struggling to even get some farm. The Irelia has been sitting healthy at 148 CS as opposed to Fufikity's 109. So,
in essence, right, to put very bluntly, you don't want them fighting 5v5. You don't want to fight a Jogamo 5v5 because you know that you will 100% lose it. So going for the 1-3-1 split push definitely does seem really proper, but have they set themselves up for it? Like so far, yes, they're 1-1 in dragons, and probably the next dragon fight, I believe, will be what decides if they will fall back to the 1-3-1 split push, or if, God forbid, Ruthless Gaming actually get like the dreamiest team fight where they land like a good Zac ult and a good Orianna ult and pretty much protect the Kog'Maw really well without losing anyone, without losing especially like the Kog'Maw again, for example, then it'll turn out to be a completely different game. Because what you're saying, the 1-3-1 split push, something needs to set up, like something needs to happen for it. Like few people need to get ahead. And yes, in this case, the bot lane is ahead, but still.
I'm not sure why they're not doing it though.
Yeah, I think they need some sort of incentive. Like they're just looking for something big to happen in order for them to continue doing this.
You can actually see Brutality yet another time overextending at bot lane without the support of Janna. Zac was somewhere nearby, but Zac will not be able to peel enough for Kog'Maw. TF does have his ultimate up and available. If required, TF could, ult right now, but as you can see, Brutality, he's trying to play it safe, but he's going back. Brutality has pretty much nowhere to go. He doesn't know what to do at the moment. He doesn't have a tower to fall back to, and he knows the threat of that Twisted Fate ultimate.
Yeah,
He's actually sitting and waiting for that wave to push up to him. But this is the time when team LowEloHangout Synchro has to move up to the mid lane and start pressurizing, whereas TF should be the one going bot lane. As we said, that got to make that 1-3-1 count. Without that,
this is what I'm talking about. This is the only pressure that they need to put. But oh my god, that was a scare. If that E had landed any finer and better, that would have been it. That would have been a two-man shockwave into so many other things that would have happened in favor of Ruthless Gaming over there. But for the time being, it does look like he'll be duking it out for getting the mid tower. And their siege isn't all that great. This is the one possible drawback, where their siege isn't all that great because Jinx has to close in that much, and they don't really have a front line that can stand next to her and pretty much supplement her, or even an ahead enough Irelia that can zone them out. Because let's face it, Irelia only has a Triforce right now and Merc Dread, so she can't really tank towers. And you don't really have that bulky, say, Maokai or Hecarim to pretty much tank up for you as well. And
but
so...
1v1 compared to anybody or anybody else on Ruthless Gaming.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this is why their comp hurts. So that's just my point. Like saying their siege isn't as great as it would with a full-on tank. And wow, I'm surprised that recall went through. I thought that was perfectly interrupted. Oh well. So, bit of a scare happening in the mid lane. Nothing much else happened. Nothing much else besides that. Like Zabardast with one missed E. Not too big of a difference there. Didn't really lead to any losses. No summoners burnt anything. So the match just goes on. They're just both teams just waiting for the next dragon, which is in 35 seconds.
Krakow gets caught. A flash.
Another TF out. Oh, that is a dead. That is a dead Janna. Oh no, not really. I spoke so soon, and yes, he is trying to follow in, but oh man, Wildcards is missing. But oh my god, what decisive playing from Panda and Pocket to do this. Brilliant teamwork coming in from. Oh my god, even better teamwork coming from Ruthless. Okay, never mind. I didn't really see the Orianna coming back, but that pretty much spelled the end for LowEloHangout right there. And Synchro is walking all the way over here, but I'm not sure why Kakaj is walking alongside doing nothing to him. Really is very funny, but oh man, brutality on that far side, just hitting and hitting. Thank God he's out of mana, or else it would have just been so bad for them. And it looks like Ruthless Gaming are going to get a free bot lane tower off of this, and a dragon because it is up, and LowEloHangout will be too slow to go back to it.
That was, in my opinion, a horrible misplay from Team LowEloHangout because they were looking.
It was good until Orianna showed up.
Indeed, that was.
Yeah, it was good until Orianna showed up. Like I wasn't paying attention to where the Orianna was throughout for that fight. So,
but I mean, they have to be aware of, like, they gotta have a mindset that, hey guys, you have an Orianna, better not stay grouped up as much, especially when you're chasing them that deep. The Orianna will be able to show up. They were chasing them for like ever. They got to realize that. Okay, Orianna will finally eventually join. So, but not like.
Yeah, here's the thing though. But the other thing is they shouldn't stop doing what they're doing. Like what they did was definitely good on their part. It just so happened that the Orianna was there in time to protect them. And yes, up till then they were pretty much distracted and probably even tunneling onto Janna too much for that pick. But yes, they did overcome it. But they shouldn't stop doing this. This is how you play the comp in itself. So I hope LowEloHangout don't get phased or anything and fear the Orianna because of this, because the cast that they've been pulling up so far is impeccable. And even here, like right here, this just goes to show that they aren't really phased by everything that's happened to them so far. Calmly going after with the TF stun, starting with the TF stun and just leading into everything else.
I have never seen Kranko being caught out in the entire tournament.
Well, there you go. There's one time.
Pressure probably. The fact that they have lost the early game by a very marginal amount, it is, putting that pressure in the minds of the members of Team Ruthless Gaming, as Janna just got caught out the second time in less than a 5-minute window. 2-minute window, in fact. This shows the pressure coming in this finals of the tournament.
I'm still not seeing anything solid. I'm still not seeing LowEloHangout doing anything solid after pulling off the catches that they have been doing. And brilliant escape by Garbage over there. Smartly queuing onto those two barely alive minions at the back. Just enough for his Q to reset even. And save himself back there. So, anyway, like as I was saying, all these ultimates that Forbidden Requiem has been doing, like I kept talking about how they haven't been making an advantage big enough. Like yes, you've caught and yes, you've killed them, but from there on you aren't really doing anything. You're just backing off and almost as if you're happy that you killed a little. So we need to see much more decisive decision making coming in, decisive like plays coming in from all the members of LowEloHangout here.
Indeed.
Because the later this goes, right now, Ruthless Gaming, all they can do is this, like shove out waves, take return kills if they have to, wait for the Cogma to hit his stride, and just protect him for the rest of the game, because you know that nobody can stop you if your group is 5 and go wherever. So that's the basis behind the team comp.
Finally doing the 1-3-1.
Oh my god, that is some huge damage onto Shifu there. It's just short of pretty much dying. And wow, an exhaust will fall into Panda in pocket. Yes, it will kill him. A smart final auto attack coming in from Brutality to kill him. And bit too ham from that Lee Sin over there.
Damage coming out of Kaka is insane at this point of time. That was completely unexpected. The Lee Sin did not anticipate that amount of damage.
Yeah.
He assumed, alright, this Kaka doesn't have his ultimate anymore. Use it on a support who didn't die. So why not, let's just go in. Hey, Twisted Fate, just ultimate and let's start a fight. And that went horribly wrong, as their team LowEloHangout did not group up and fight at the exact same time. Lee Sin just overextended a little bit without any.
LowEloHangout trying to plan a Baron? Does look like it. I mean, they're pretty much generally grouped around there. They have swept. They know that there aren't any more wards.
They might as well. They're not going to be started off and taking some damage. They might as well.
But who will come? Like, nobody's really shown. Like, ordinarily you send a person, okay, yeah, now Forbidden Flame will pretty much attract somebody over here. And this will be it. Yes, the binding will land onto Kranko, and that is one dead Wind Lady.
That's a third time Kranko just got today. This is
Yes. Holy Hannah indeed. And this time they just look like they'll still not starting the Baron. I'm not really sure. Just start the Baron. They don't have a Janna. That's enough for you. Oh my god. They don't have a Janna. Just send good. Shifu can just stay there and stop Kranko and just stop this thing whenever needed. But oh my god, here comes. Like, this is it. This is where the Wombo Combo does shine a little bit. And oh man, this is going so bad. Okay, they still have Baron too long. That will be, I believe, a dead Shifu. Yes, that will be. And a big, very huge double kill going on for Kaka. He's pretty much keeping the team alive at this moment and pretty much helping them recover from their early losses and the early deaths that they've been doing. And well, that's the thing, right? It happens, doesn't it? Like the occasional Baron throw, where you just go right in and you just don't see that, okay, yes, the enemy is right there, you can just disengage and go right onto them. And I was expecting Garbage to fully just queue over the wall. Like, once Shifu had vision of Zabardast right there, I pretty much expected him to queue on the wall and chase him away, and not really do anything much from there on. And Forbidden Flame had his ultimate the whole time as well. I expected him to immediately use it and lock down Brutality once again. Probably even pull off the Messiah, but that would have been the perfect situation, Mega, to do the Messiah bait. Right there. When you saw like Kaka and Zabardast up in the front line, you could have very much attracted them to go back to Kog'Maw, while the whole team eventually just collapses and you pretty much have a head-on fight with pretty much a dead Zac. This is a dream thing. And oh my god, where is Forbidden Flame going? Teleports far up instead and stuns Zabardast, but oh my god, this rocket actually misses, and a huge two-man shockwave holding right in, and Kaka going ham onto their bot lane right now, and he's still alive and he's still capable of doing damage. Not anymore, actually, and I didn't really notice what the Irelia and the TF were doing all the time, all along. And well, only the Lulu, only one defenseless Lulu left to stay around and shove back bot lane, sadly.
This is the first major 5v5 team fight that both teams had it coming. All these times it's usually been people just chasing people and such fights, but we never had a head-on 5v5. This is the very first 5v5 fight we had in this game, and Team LowEloHangout has for the first time come out ahead in the 5v5 fights. They this time managed to avoid a devastating shockwave, or And I don't know where the Shockwave actually went in this very fight, but nonetheless, I am pretty sure it did not hit multiple members. That is the exact reason why team LowEloHangout actually came out ahead in that trade. That's some serious morale boost for LowEloHangout to win that team fight. Straight up face-to-face team fight, which is just won by them. It's a huge morale boost as the blue buff actually accidentally gets picked up by Panda. That is a serious annoyance and a major threat because Forbidden Requirement has to have that blue buff not just for the team fights but to get that ultimate up and available as soon as possible with that 20% cooldown reduction your blue buff.
Wow, what the? Ruthless are so much faster to get to this tower. And I don't think LowEloHangout are not in the position to fight this. Look at Panda in pocket here. Okay, never mind. They aren't really looking for a wild fight yet because he is level 12 after all.
And RuthlessGaming has the best tools to siege team.
But oh my god, okay, good. Very. Okay, they're playing with fire right now. Like, the other thing is they really can't go in alone. Like, both teams, like neither member from both teams can really go in and check anything alone, right? Because not even Zabardast, mind you, because the amount of catch, the amount of single target, pretty much peel, pretty much catch and damage that they can do is very immense. And so both teams will pretty much be playing in fire if they step out alone, and this will be a bad engage coming in from the side of Ruthless.
Yeah.
Or not. No, they'll just pretty much fall back.
That RuthlessGaming is actually playing with, despite them actually being put back in the early stages of the game, but
that's just how ahead the Oriana is, man. You can do a lot of things with her when she's that ahead.
Doing all the work. The Kog'Maw is not the one you should be protecting in this game at this point of time, as you can say that arguably that Kaka is the one hard carrying that team at this very point of time. As
he has done an incredible job of scoring.
The sole reason they have made it up till this point.
Yep.
If not for that Oriana pick, they would have probably lost a lot of other battles, a lot of other small skirmishes as well. But
yeah, and Oriana is definitely a pivotal part of the Juggernaut comp because you're pretty much helping your Kog'Maw not only by shielding him but also giving him that haste from your W and just generally giving him more movement speed to kite effectively, and you can already see the Kog'Maw shaping up to do a fair bit of damage. That is a quarter HP synchro from all of 3 auto attacks from Brutality there.
Indeed, and he did not even activate for BRTRK. That was some serious carry damage out of a surprisingly non-fed Kog'Maw. Imagine the damage he could do if he was actually fed.
Well, that's it, but that's what they wanted, right? That's the comp that LowEloHangout picked, and they got the advantage that they wanted. And they pretty much got what they wanted for in terms of shutting down the Kog'Maw, but in the process, right, they just ended up giving too many kills to the Oriana, who is pretty much seeing them through by landing impeccable shockwaves all game.
Indeed.
And right now, it looks like Ruthless are going for a proper Baron gate right now.
Yeah,
and Shifu, first one ahead. Will he live?
Blows one shockwave. That would
oh my god, he does hear the binding land, and that will be the spot. Down to all 5 members, and that will be a one-man shockwave right on the Panda pocket. Not really the most effective.
This should be the time when they should engage.
Not really the most effective.
Not the most effective, right? It was one-man shockwave, and that was on the Lee Sin, who has got a considerable amount of magic resist. He's got the locket. Yeah, but basically that was the best engage you could hope for. But nonetheless, Team RuthlessGaming have the tools to fight back. They have the Janna, they have the Oriana, and they have the Lulu. So basically, they could have managed this game. They just saw that they could actually get a good pick, a good shockwave. Maybe Kaka was probably just testing out if he could one-shot the Lee Sin, considering how fed he is, but he probably just found out that okay, he's fed, but not enough to take a one-shot the Lee Sin at this point of time.
I feel like this is the time. Like, I believe this would probably be a good time to break out the 1-3-1 split push right here, because this is it. Like all you're doing is pretty much scrambling wherever the minion waves are and shoving them to the other person's side, right?
I'm not sure why they're not pushing.
And here is where you pretty much pull it out, but they aren't really doing it.
You know that Oriana's shockwave is down.
Okay, never mind. This is the first bit to start, but will Irelia live through the damage of the Kog'Maw? Yes, he will. Oh my god, he will live through and get more and even kill and get out alive? Get out alive, anyone? Bets on whether Irelia will live through this? It comes out really if he can survive that, but no, doesn't really look like it, and that will be... Yeah, just some last minute heroics stuff. She won't really die or anything, but that will be a Baron, and Zabardast going right in. They are trying to do it. Brilliant Wombo combo coming in right from Kaka to get 2 people there. And that will be a weak teleport from Fufucutie, but that doesn't really matter. They've stopped Baron successfully. But they can't even go anywhere near the arena right now.
3 members are dead.
Yeah.
That jungler is dead, so basically that just...
Yeah, they succeeded. Except Fufukutie's death was just like, what even happened?
What?
Because that TP was just, yeah, I'm here boys, oh wait, I'm dead.
Indeed. What I got to say is that this is the most interesting game Ruthless Gaming have played in a while, because all the games that they've played in the past, they managed to dominate each and every team that stood in front of them. This is the only game they have been shown up. They have some competition at this point in time.
Yep, very hotly contested objective battle going on right now.
Indeed. But as the pressure mounts, as the late game stage sets, as the Kog'Maw and both Kog'Maw and Jinx is scaling up, what happens if the Orianna actually manages to screw up a shockwave in a very important team fight?
Yeah, I mean, like, it isn't that you should be looking to dodge. It isn't that you should be looking to dodge the wombo combo, right, of Zac Orianna. It's more like you should just pick favorable fights where you outnumber the enemy, and pretty much focus your single target damage onto any one person, and pretty much make sure you execute it right enough to kill them. Because you obviously can't win in a straight up 5v5 where you're just throwing your ability straight up, because obviously the Juggernaut has the better AoE and the general single target damage to break through you. So you're not looking for a 5v5 team fight of that sort. It's just that LowEloHangout need to be smart enough to pick the right engages with their TF stunts, with their Irelia equilibrium strikes, and with their wildcards in general as well. And right now, both teams pretty split here. We do see 4 people, all 5 members, soon are joined by Zabardast, of course, joined up in the mid lane. And oh my god, this is a catch on Forbidden Requiem, and that is definitely one dead TF there. Oh my god, crucial mistake coming in from here. That will be the mid tower going down.
Inhibitor and probably the Baron. This could be the throw of the game. Despite Forbidden Requiem doing a formidable job, carrying team LowEloHangout in the early game. This is the crucial mistake he just made. Oh my god, this just cost him the inhibitor.
That was actually a huge misplay by Forbidden Requiem. He should have really recalled in that position, I feel, because you really have no business staying on the other side in the face of like 5 people and pretty much even show up there. But well, the Juggernaut is finally taking shape, and with 3 items, Kog'Maw is now officially 3-shotting and 2-shotting, 2 and 3-shotting everything right now.
Indeed. And just like that, when LowEloHangout were looking in good shape, they knew that Kog'Maw doesn't have a flash, and because of the comp, they would likely not want to fight when the flash on the Kog'Maw is down, considering they have the Irelia, Twisted Fate, and the Lee Sin if they could get a flank on you. So ideally, Team Ruthless Gaming would actually, I'm pretty sure they'd be communicating, saying that...
Oh my god, they're gonna... Oh my god, Panda in pocket, you are in deep trouble. Please run as far as you can. And okay, go, good. Very well played by Ruthless Gaming, really, to recognize that yes, okay, they've been spotted and he's only gonna pretty much run, so let's just go to the tower guys.
This should be our top.
And this is it, man. This is how you play the Jagama comp. Like, you don't really make the first move of the enemy, but you're just taking down objective after objective, going, what can you do? We have so much peel and shields for the Kog'Maw. And there's nothing else you can do, but wow, that is one very, very low Orianna, but does it even matter? They're too scared to even engage in the face of that Wombo combo and then the ban buff in general onto Ruthless Gaming right now.
Zabardast getting heavily poked out as well. They could potentially
doesn't really
fight
matter.
this at this point.
You can just take it all to the face and still keep laughing at the end of the day. It'll have the last laugh, I mean.
Look at the shield on Brutality. 3 shields on top of his top of him. Look at that shield. That's basically a half HP of just shield.
Yep. That's why. This is what I meant by if LowEloHangout spend everything onto the Kog'Maw, they're really not gonna have they're really not gonna have their money's worth of damage being put on them. They're being put to it and killing it at all. So yeah. All LowEloHangout can do right now is to probably wait on the next 2 objectives, and oh my god, that is a DC pattern pocket. But sorry guys, we're actually out of all pause time. We need to go into negative pause time. We need to go into a short overtime, and the team's still pausing, and the game's just resuming regardless. So bit of a 4v5, kind of a unpleasant situation for LowEloHangout. Oh no, never mind, not anymore. He has reconnected, so rest easy, boys. We can rest easy.
No shoes.
And now begins the strategic dismemberment of towers on the side of LowEloHangout by Ruthless Gaming.
This is the first time Team Ruthless Gaming are ahead in goal the entire game. They've been down in goal this entire game, not by much. They have held the ground the entire time, but nonetheless, this is the first time they pull up ahead in goal, thanks to the one.
This is probably the first time they've been given a hiccup. This is the first time a team has probably made them hiccup in the early game. That's all you can say. And wow, that is a giant 2-man ultimate, and this could be a dead Panda in Pocket. No, it'll instead be a dead garbage, and Panda in Pocket will escape safely, but oh my god, or not, or probably not. Okay, well, Morgana in the meantime.
Right here, 2 members are dead.
Pretty much dying, and this could be games. This could be games that play smartly enough.
Baron just wore off, but that's a 1-minute cooldown timer. I mean, death timer on both the support and the Irelia. With no Irelia means Brutality on the Kog'Maw has nobody to get on his back.
That's game. That is to both the Nexus towers going in. There is nobody to stop them. There is nobody to stop them right now. Even Forbidden Requiem, like look at Brutality. He's just walking up to Forbidden Requiem saying, please come face me. I want to kill you. And that will be game. And the champions of the ILGLCL Season 2 are going to be Ruthless Gaming. Congratulations to them.
Undefeated as well.